Hey everyone, for those who have been following my channel for quite some time, as you can see, I'm back in my home in Georgia, so it's nice to be home. Let's go through my Q1 2024 performance, what my portfolio looks like. I have sold some things, I've added to some things as well. So yeah, let's jump in and take a look. So on the screen here, you can see the changes from Q4 to Q1. So we had Berkshire Hathaway and Markel have come up a little bit. Redbubble, which is called Articore now, is down more. Yeah, that's been a bad investment for me, as you can see, with Alibaba down a little bit as well. Also a pretty bad investment so far. I'm feeling still very confident about Alibaba in the long term. I feel like the amount of cash flow that they're making relative to their market cap is really attractive. I think they're improving their margins. They're now starting to pay out a dividend, so that's going to attract other investors as well. I feel like it's just a matter of time before this gets valued more fairly, especially if they start to grow quite strongly at any stage through one of their parts of their business. I feel like that could look very attractive at some stage. So I'm going to keep them. Article or Redbubble, I'm very hesitant at the moment about this one. I probably should sell, but the old CEO has come back in and I'm thinking that he might be able to turn things around. He's shown some good signs so far. I'm on the fence at the moment. That may or may not be there in the next quarter. We'll see how we go. Judgement is up still. I actually still think that's quite at reasonable valuations as well. So I haven't added any to that, but if it was to come back down to say 500 yen, I'd be very seriously adding more. I think TrueLeaf is something that I did sell. So it's up even 84% for the quarter. So there's been a big move in the cannabis space. TrueLeaf has come up with it. My thesis on cannabis has changed a little bit. I'm not out of the industry because I've actually invested the money in Glasshouse and Goodness Growth, which are down the bottom of the page at the moment. Essentially what I've done is I've just found better investments in that space with better management. We have far better outlooks, in my opinion, than TrueLeaf. Very happy to have sold that one. I have a lot better price than it was a quarter ago, so that's cool. KPG's come up a lot in the last quarter. SDI Group's down quite a lot for the quarter. So with Mike Creedon leaving, I've made a video on that recently as well. This is another one that I've now lost a little bit of confidence in because of the change of leadership there. I'm waiting for their annual report to come out just to listen to the CEO, have a chat. I'm going to try to interview the CEO at some stage as well. I'm holding for the moment because I'm still making that decision, but I probably am going to sell that if I'm not feeling any confidence with the new management team there. So that essentially means my thesis is broken because the thesis was based on Mike Creedon and now that's changed. So yeah, maybe it's broken. Probably going to sell that at some stage. We'll see how I go. I'm going to wait at least till the annual report and get a read there. Technion, it's down a tiny little bit for the quarter, but keeping that one obviously for a long time. TerraVest is up pretty substantially, and so that's 36% up for the quarter. It's come a lot. It's a long way up. It's making up a pretty big percentage of my portfolio now, which is cool. Omda, which was CSAM, great revenue business, but I think something that I might also be considering selling at the moment is because although I think the revenues are just like top shelf, like amazing, the valuation work that I've done recently, and I've got a little bit more insight into that business regarding how they do their research and development and how they're capitalizing that. And there's a few little nuances that I've just started to pick up and I've just started to play around with. And it's taken me quite a long time. That's over a year now to understand that business to the level that I do now. So I'm actually losing confidence. Even though I like management a lot and I like the business a lot and I like their business model a lot, I think the valuation is the thing that I'm having issues with. And I don't see big home runs coming anytime soon. So the asymmetry and the risk reward doesn't seem to fit anymore. So Omda is something that I'm considering. Nelnet, very happy with. It's up 9% for the quarter. That's more of a long-term approach one as well. DSW, that's an interesting one too. Something that I'm having to think about deeply. It's flat for the quarter, but I'm not sure about that one still. I'm going to think a bit more deeply about that one over the next quarter. Glasshouse and Goodness Growth, they're up very substantially in the quarter. I think they still have a long way to go. My thesis is still very much intact there, and the catalysts haven't even started yet there. So I'm definitely holding those ones there. Brockhouse Technologies at the bottom there. It's down 8% on the quarter. It's flat from where I purchased it, but that's something that I have been adding to. So I got quite a deep dive video coming out very soon about Brockhouse Technologies. That's something that I'm working on at the moment. And you're going to see in the portfolio, my pie chart in a moment, how much of a piece that is starting to make up. So let's have a look now at my performance versus the S&P. So as you can see on the screen, I'm up about 45% since I started tracking this back in 2020. That's not as good as the S&P 500, but there was COVID in there and I made a few bad decisions back then. I wasn't as good of an investor in those first maybe year or two since I was tracking that. I think moving forward, I think I can catch the S&P and blow past it. That's obviously the plan. Otherwise, I probably should just be indexing, and that's something I think we should all be tracking over a period of time that we feel like we're comfortable with. So like I said, I feel like I've evolved over the last year or two probably. So it's probably not a fair comparison because I'm a better investor now than I was then and things like that. So maybe if I get better and better, I will hopefully catch up to the S&P 500. Let's see what actually happens though. So on the screen right now is my portfolio pie. We've got TIKR and Brockhouse Technologies making up the two biggest pieces there, of 14% each. The two cannabis stocks, which is Goodness Growth and Glasshouse, are making up 13%. I've grouped them together. Probably should split them, but anyway, I feel like it's the same, very similar thesis. They are very different businesses though, so I might be splitting them up soon. Anyway, Alibaba's making up about 11%. We'll see what happens over the next few years with that. Then we got KPG, Jigen, Technion, and then very small positions in the remaining 5 or 6 after that. So there's a lot of cleaning up here to do. Like I said in earlier in the video, I'm considering divesting away from some, and I'm probably just going to reinvest into some of the companies I already have. I don't think there's going to be too many new companies anytime soon. I have my eye on a couple, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident with the big pieces of my portfolio at the moment. So yeah, that's how that looks. In terms of how that's split geographically, so we have Germany with the 14%, which is Brockhouse, and Canada 14% with TIKR. The United States makes up the biggest piece, though, of 25%, which is the Berkshire Hathaways, the Markells, the cannabis stocks, things like that. That makes up the big piece there. And yeah, I've got a pretty even, I feel like a pretty comfortable geographic spread there. I've got some China, I've got some England, I've got some Scandinavian countries, Japan, Australia, Canada. Yeah, I wasn't planning on having a geographic diversified portfolio, but there you go. It's reasonably diversified. Now, this graph on the screen is about Interactive Brokers, because Interactive Brokers is the broker that I use for all my investing. It gives me access to those international stocks. That's why I have the geographic diversification option. And just comparing this to the other brokers that are advertising a lot, like the Robinhoods and the Weebles and eToro and things like that, Interactive Brokers is just so much bigger and so much has been around for so much longer. I just have so much more trust in Interactive Brokers, not just because of this, by the way. They're a publicly listed company, so I can see their balance sheet. The management team there is exceptional. I think that what they offer their customers is better than everybody else as well. I just think Interactive Brokers is the best. There's a link in the description below for that. If you haven't got an Interactive Brokers account, yeah, I think you're missing out. And I think you're taking a risk that you don't need to take. So yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed my video. More videos to come specifically on Brockhouse Technology. I'll have some other company ideas that I'm going to bring out soon. And also I'm going to be diving a lot into the private market world. So buying private businesses and what's involved with all of that. And that's something that I'm working a lot on at the moment in my personal life. So I think sharing that information, following along in potentially buying a private business is going to be very interesting. And I hope you agree. A little direction change of the channel, probably in the second half of the year. So, all right, I think that's enough of an update. Hope you've enjoyed. See you in the next video.